What up, though? It's Grounded and Gus. I'm gonna give y'all 2 minutes to come in before I start talking. We about to tell y'all about an interesting conversation we had with a corporation. You wanna go back to work or no? Cause where's your call? So how did you want me to start it? I forgot because I was typing. Just said talk about the conversation when they tried to change
The
it.
entire thing. Sandwich it. The company comes in, they try to do their thing. You behave as a major. You say, yo, what's going on? This ain't contractual.
Right. Okay.
What you want to do is stand over you. Listen,
Uh,
major.
all right, babe. Go ahead back to work.
Got it?
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm so tired.
A total of 5 days on the phone, 2 hours each. So that's 10 hours.
Yeah, that's you. You guys put the work in with this shit. Okay, so we wanted to come on here and do a short video because I wanted to tell y'all about a situation we had with a contract we had. Okay. Okay, so I have been saying for probably years, I gotta get a new phone. I gotta get a new phone. And first, let me start off by saying I have been with Boost Mobile for the last 9 years. We've had the same company for the last 9 years. And I loved it because my bill was never different than what it's supposed to be. And when we traveled across country, we never lost our signal with Boost. So that's why we kept that for so long. But Verizon was offering if you switch over to us, then we will give you new phones. You can pick the phone you want. Excuse me. So they said that if you come over, we can do $25 a line or whatever. So it was actually uh about $30 cheaper than what I was paying. So I said, okay, let's try it, even though everything in my gut said don't do this, because they always lying. You will never pay what they say you won't pay. So we're in this space where they saying, okay, you won't generate a bill till 15 days after you start your service. So 15 days came or whatever, and we have the auto pay set up. So our bill was supposed to be $119. $119. And that's what the total bill was supposed to be every month. $119. So I was like, okay, that's only a little bit more than what I was paying, so I could do that. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sorry. Um, so I want to say 3 days before our bill was due, they went into our account to take the money out. The money wasn't in there. It's not that the money wasn't in there. We have a lock on our account, so you can't just go into our account and take what you want. So when they did that and it was denied, they said that we didn't honor our auto pay, and because of that, we had to now pay an extra $90 every month, and they kicked us off of auto pay. So, oh, let me say this before I forget, and make it work for you with what I'm about to tell you. It was 5 days on the phone, 2 hours for each call. Okay, just keep that in mind. So we do the calling them bit like, yo, what you doing? Because we had the card open for something. And when we opened it for something, they was able to take out $32. And we like, well, there's nothing that we got for Verizon that's $32. So what the fuck charge was that? So they charged us for not being able to charge us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let that sink in. They charged us because they couldn't charge us. So when we said, well, if our agreement was for the 13th of the month for you to take out of our account, why would you go in there on the 10th? They said, well, we have a 48-hour window where we go into your card to see if you have the money in there. So we say, cool, that's fair. Well, I'm gonna pull up your terms and conditions and read it through. And so that's what my husband did. Excuse me. And always remember that we always recording. That's all we do is record. Everything you say, everything you do, we record it. So don't come around us if you don't want to be recorded. So she's telling us that yes, I understand what the terms and conditions is, but we do this as a practice. So we said, okay, so that's your policy that you do that. And she said yes. So we said, okay, well, where's my contract stating that I'd agreed to you doing that? Because whether we had the money in the account or not, whether the card was open or closed, you never had permission to go into my account whenever you wanted to. So they say we don't go in it whenever we want to, just within 48 or 72 hours prior to when it's due. And we said, and when you do that and there's no money in there, what do you do then? She said, well, we charge a fee for not being able to charge the fee. So we just cracking up at this lady telling us all her crooked ass ways. And so then after a couple of hours of this bullshit, my husband says, look, this is a fraud and swindle case. Your Verizon store swindled me in here, saying that frauded me, however that go. Got me into the store, told me a bunch of bullshit ass lies, didn't keep to the agreement, and then he sent me to you so you could fuck me over too. So then my husband read her the frauds and swindlers code in the United States codes. I think title, is that 18 or 15? It's one of them. But they said, well, we understand that, but now your bill is going to be $192 every month. You won't be allowed to use auto pay again. And if you want to cancel the contract with us, mind you, it's not supposed to be a contract, but if you want to cancel with us, you have to pay us $1,500 for you to go to another company because you've already had the phone for 30 days. And because of that, now we can't take the phone back. Even though 15 days in, we called them and asked them what was they doing with our account. So they know we started to inquire about this fraudulent charges, right? And then they tried to say, well, no, it's been 30 days now. So we went to the store. We had one operator say, you have to go back to the store, tell the store that you want to cancel the contract and turn the phones back over. So we go to the store, and in the store, we're talking to the workers, the manager, and everybody. And the manager says, well, there's nothing we could do. We can't take the phone back because you had them for 30 days. And then we said, so if they sent us to you and you telling us to go to them, what do we do? And he said, I don't know what to do. You got to take this up with the corporate division of this. I said, but those are the ones who told us to come to you. And then I said, so how is this done? Do I just sue y'all or do I sue the head company? How does that work? And he was like, well, if you want to talk about suing, you're gonna have to get you an attorney, and then we can't talk to you no more after you get an attorney. And I said, oh, that's okay. I am an attorney. So you can go ahead and tell me right now. So when I said I am an attorney, the manager went into his little tablet and he got his little email address and a number and shit so that we can call the legal department of Verizon or whatever. So we go back home. The next day we call him because I told my husband, I said, my agreement was for $124. That's after the taxes and stuff. I said, all I'm gonna pay is $124. Now I told him if you pay the other part that I'm not paying, you're gonna recontract with them and it's gonna be a new agreement and we won't be able to get out of that. Yeah, because on prima facie. On the face, it looked like you agreed to pay more money because you paid more money. So I was standing 10 toes down on that shit. And then my husband was like, yeah, you're right about that. And then he called them back again another day, another 2 hours. And they assured him that he would be paying the whole $192. They stood on their ground about that. They said that they won't be changing anything. And if we don't pay it on time, we will incur more fees. So I said, okay, we're not going to go back to the store to pay the bill. Just pay the fucking bill online. We go online to pay the bill, expecting that shit to be $192. The bill was $124. So if you telling me, and you're aggressively telling me, nah, you gonna fucking pay what I tell you to pay. No, the contract say what I say it say. Hold on. Okay, right.
And stay within the parameters of the contract, but I would not accept breaches of said contract. And the big box, the big store with the red design, they tried to bully you to accept it. The fact that you're going to pay more.
Right. Sorry, y'all. I lost my train of thought. I had smoked a blunt before I got on here. It happens. Anyway, so basically, what we had to do was make sure we had the right code that we had to throw up in there because they're recording the shit. And when they know you a problem, like if you've called in previously and they flag you or tag you or whatever, they'll have their legal department listening to the conversation. So
we outlined the swindle.
Right, we outlined the law. It's called fraud. The code that's called fraud and swindles. I advise y'all to go read that because when you contracting with people, it's important for you to understand what will help you if something go wrong. So we did that, and we had success with that phone bill because once it went up to 192, we already knew they was going to take it up higher again. So we just wasn't interested in that. And so the moral of this story is in order for you to get the results that you want, you have to perform. And if you're performing, that means that you are a major, no longer a minor. Minors need instructions. They need people to tell them what to do. An adult takes over and do what needs to be done. So I want y'all to do this with all your contracts. Pull out all your contracts and read them. Find some loopholes to get you out of them. Once you take something off of a property, a lot. So say you get a house, say you get a car, or you buy some furniture. Once it's in your possession, if you decide that the contract no longer works for you, you will already have it in your possession and you can cancel that contract. You just got to study this shit and know what you're doing. You can't just go off of what somebody's saying. You got to do the research so you'll know how to play this. And I already, huh?
Fully understand any concept you get into. Because what the big store try to do is say they were allowed to do make a policy conversation. They say over and over again, this is the policy, this is how we do it. We didn't ask you about that, we asked you about the contract.
And don't let them try to overtalk you with their policy bullshit. Policy is just a joke. It's nothing to be taken seriously, and it won't stand up in court if you do it the right way. I don't care about your fucking policy. What the hell do my contracts say? They really argued us down and told us that they absolutely was not going to change that. That's just like the judge in court that told me it don't matter if she got an international filing. What I'm saying ain't gonna change her ruling. She gonna do what she said she gonna do. And then 30 days later, we going back and forth to the clerk's office, and it ain't no fucking order in because she couldn't do it. Don't keep letting these people bully y'all. I hate fucking bullies, yo. On a real. I'm scared of everything in life except for a fucking bully. But you take me to the edge of a cliff and shit, I'm gonna cry like a little bitch. But for real, y'all really need to start taking control over your life. Stop just accepting something. When somebody put a notice on your door saying you're evicted, don't just take it and start crying. Make sure ain't nobody watching you take that shit. And then you go file a fucking waiver of service of summons. I think that's what it's called. I'll be forgetting this shit. And have them, wait until you get home 60 days later. Y'all got to start learning what the benefits you have in your state, like what will help you out in certain situations, because every court system has their own way of doing shit. But as far as your utility bills, your phone bills, your internet bills, anything that looks wrong, question it, call them about it, and at the very least, get you a free month of something. Make them credit your account. So now these fools talking about, well, we credited your account back the money we took from your account because we couldn't take money from your account. This shit is so bizarre, so bananas, and I'm just tired of pretending like this is believable. It's just not believable to me no more. So I wanted to just give y'all an example of how to perform and make sure that you're handling yourself as a major, not a minor